Hello and welcome. And before we go forward and do the showcase, I wanted to make sure that you're familiar with some key vocabulary that I'll be using throughout. And so this page was set up so that you could learn this key vocabulary. The first thing we're going to discuss is something called HTML. Now, most of you have heard of this, and you know that HTML has something to do with the web. For example, you've seen index.html. Well, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's the code that is used to make web pages happen. What you see here is a web page. If I right-click and ask for the source, what happens is it shows me the code, the markup code that computers actually write so that your web browser actually shows you this. And so what you see is this, but behind this is actual code, and that code is called HTML code. Now, the next word that you need to know is WYSIWYG. WYSIWYG is an acronym for what you see is what you get. And believe it or not, SoftChalk is a WYSIWYG editor. It's a very, very powerful WYSIWYG editor, but it is a WYSIWYG editor. For example, in SoftChalk, you can ask to view the source, and now you're looking at that HTML code that makes a page happen. When you are in, say, for example, Blackboard, and you're writing a page, right now we're looking at a WYSIWYG view, but this right here is a WYSIWYG view. But if you click on this little button right here, it says show the HTML source. Now you're looking at the actual code view, and there's a code view and a WYSIWYG view. Other online sources do the same thing. Here you notice the word WYSIWYG, and if you want to actually look at what the code view is, this is what you see from a code view perspective. It actually says, hey, start a new paragraph, end that paragraph. So what you have is HTML and WYSIWYG. Next on the list of vocabulary that you need to know is a widget. Now, what are widgets? How do I get to widgets? Well, SoftChalk has a neat page that actually shows you widgets. And what widgets are little things that you can embed. For example, let's say I'm a teacher and I want to go to the PBS site, and I'm a reading or a language teacher, so I might want to look for, Shakespeare. Wonderful. Now, this little page, this little thing can be embedded or put inside of any web page that you make. How do you get it? Well, that's pretty easy. Down here it says grab it. And then you're going to see some code. Now, you don't have to know the code. You don't even have to be able to write the code. All you need to do is be able to click it and copy it. And so I'm going to click copy the embed code. That's what I've done. Now, when I go back to SoftChalk, I can insert a widget. I give the widget a name. I would add a description for ADA compliance. And then I'm going to paste the embed code. Once I do that, the widget placeholder is added. Now, you don't see it until you preview it. And if I go to preview mode, I can preview it. And now what you're going to notice is this particular playground, I've added a bunch of different widgets. I added a screencast that I made using Screen Jelly, a YouTube video, a presentation done in a program called Prezi, a questions and answer session that's done in Google Docs. I've added a VoiceThread interactive activity. I added a poll from Poll Anywhere. And last but not least, we see our PBS teachers Shakespeare content. Widgets allow you to embed a bunch of interesting things within your content. The showcase is going to showcase all of these different techniques, but how you go about getting them into SoftChalk is technically the same thing. So let's look at a couple other words. What is a mashup? Well, what you were just looking at was, in fact, a mashup. What we did was we took this technology and we embedded it in another technology, essentially mashing up the two technologies. Embed code, like I said before, is that code that allows you to capture stuff. Let's say I have a YouTube video, and I want to embed that YouTube video. All I have to do is click on the word embed, and it'll show me the embed code. I can then right-click and copy, or I can hold down the control copy. Once I've done that, I can go back to SoftChalk. I can say, you know what? I need to insert a widget, and I add the information. Of course, I would need to give it a name. And I would want to add a description. Once I've done that, now I've added the new content. Very easily, I view it in my browser. I'm going to have to save my changes. And what you'll notice is, in my browser, I now have all of the content I had before, and I've added this YouTube video. Well, I hope that helps.